Race number 4 is the first leg of the Triple Tree. It's the feature race on the programme as well. Class 3 here, the Farke Cup over 1,000 metres. Diego Costa, very impressive winner. Course and distance. Joe Moreira, top weight on his back. Most beautiful with the blinkers on. Still a maiden here in Hong Kong. Mr. Right rolls forward. E-Super rolls forward. Right Honourable, he's got a good draw for it. Might not have the speed. And Silver Spun goes up in class. He was a pretty good course and distance winner at the back end of last year as well. Now we've made our way across the touchscreen for the speed map here, Brett. And draw, E-Super has obviously come up with a good draw. But the speed, the early speed, might be from Mr. Right and Circuit King. We can see them moving and rolling across early. Those are the two that are going to duel it out. Then E-Super along the inside. We've got Diego Costa, who's got good speed as well. And we could have 3 of them across the breast here, with Most Beautiful with the blinkers back on. He's likely to take up a good position. Mega Treasure, likely possibly to get caught out wide, and Silver Spun maybe just tucks in behind. Yeah, well, the one question here, Andrew, is E-Super drawn down nearer the inside. Now, he's led all the way in a recent trial, so you just wonder whether or not he might be able to sort of kick up a little bit and try and hold out Mr. Right there. That's potentially an option. The other option, I think, is Silver Spun as well. Towards the back end of last season, he was a horse that showed a lot of pace. Now, maybe he could potentially try and get outside of Circuit King and eventually roll over as well. Whether he's got the pace to do that, I'm not sure. But what it does secure is a very fast tempo. I think ultimately E-Super's got the most options here. He can be there, he can lead if he wants from gate 1, or he can just sit in behind. He's actually very well rated. His last win was off a rating of 59, so he's the horse that I'm going to side with. I think he gets most ticks when you look at the speed map. All right, if that pans out, could set it up for a couple of the closes. Well, the interesting one, of course, is Racing Mate at the back here. Now, we know 1,000 metres, 1,200 at the Valley, it's to his liking, probably more so the 1,000. If they overcook themselves up front, he is capable of really dashing through the field late, reeling off very good sectionals. Of course, he cut down Premier towards the end of last season, who's a pretty handy horse over the 1,000. All right, we'll be dashing across the studio back to the desk, because, Paul, you take us through the track work.
No worries, there isn't that much either. Iron Boy's the one we'll have a look at here. The reason I'm showing this is because he's changed stables, this horse, in the off-season. The tongue tie goes on, and I think David Ferraris has got him going quite well. He has won previously off a rating of... he's won over 1,200 metres. 1,000 metres doesn't look too bad for him. Here's one of the other chances. 3 horses in the race as well. Circuit King, Most Beautiful, and Diego Costa. As you can see, Circuit King is going to be in that speed battle. Yeah, on that speed map that we looked at, Andrew, Most Beautiful was also potentially going to be caught wide. He's got blinkers going on, but I don't think he's got the pace to sort of get across. We touched on the fact that Mr. Right will be handy, and Racing Mate is the horse that just sits back and potentially climbs over the top of them as well. You've got Circuit King in this race as well, and just here he is weaving through. This is him doing his best work, Paul. Yeah, definitely. The thing with Mr. Right is he's got a really bad fresh up record. So he's had 3 starts fresh up and he hasn't done anything. So the other thing is, I'll steer clear of him. He's only had the 1 win from 21 in this class too, so that was against him a little bit.
Eddie Lie in the saddle on Mrs. Racing Mate on that occasion. Zach Purton takes over. Let's take a check on then Silver Spun. We touched on him as well, as potentially might have to, hand up as far as the speed is concerned, but he was on pace here. Yeah, well, he led that race on the dirt 2 starts ago, and then he sat outside of Rugby Diamond here, and we know he's a quick enough horse, even though he's a Class 5 galloper, he could probably measure up. I mean, Ocean Roar's in the race too, so be interesting to see. Hasn't had a trial leading him, which is concerning. He's a roarer, so I think they're going to keep him at 1,000. The way he races, or raced early in his career, he looked like 1,200, 1,400 metres at Sha Tin, etc. But being a roarer, I think they're going to keep him to 1,000. All right, E-Super. Brett, you touched on the fact that he might be pushing up underneath them. This was a recent trial and possibly put the writing on the wall here to a certain extent. Right Honourable out the back. He's an interesting runner. He's got some ability. He ran a nice race behind Best Step, and I get the feeling a touch further is going to be better for him. But he's moving nicely at the back. But E-Super, Paul, we were discussing this earlier on. He's so well rated. He had a very ordinary season last time in, but this work looks like he's going nice. Yeah, look, he's won off a rating of 73 before this horse, and he didn't have a good season last season. He got injured, and then he didn't really show anything after that. He was very disappointing. Came up at small prices as well. It looks like he's going better now. I think I said before his last win was off 59. It was actually 73, and he's effectively off a 59 rating in this race on Wednesday. All right, good field then for the feature, Paul. Yeah, it's a good field, and as you said, it's going to go pretty fast. So
I think E-Super's probably got the most options there, and I think he has improved, and he's really well rated at the moment. Matthew Poon from Barrier 1 to beat Circuit King. 1,000 metres is his go as well, and I think he can, as long as they don't go too fast, and sometimes they do, obviously, in this 1,000 metres, I still think he can run well. Diego Costa, now he did win 3 starts ago, and it was a massive effort, and he won very easily. He should get a nice cheap run as well. And Most Beautiful's best run, I thought, was his early runs when he first got here, fresh up. So QQP again, because I'm not too sure. E-Super's has had those problems, but he's just so well rated. But I'll just go 136 and 6314 in total.
I've got similar numbers. I'm going to include Racing Mate, but I'm going to go with E-Super. If he's 100% right within himself, I think he's very hard to beat. Paul touched on the issues that he has had. Racing Mate's the horse that sits back, potentially closes in. Diego Costa was enormous 3 starts ago when he sat in, but he's inconsistent. That's what often gets you with him. And Circuit King's an honest jump and run type. He'll be there for a fair way. So 6, 7, 1, 3. I'd play the quartet here. I'd banker the 6 and throw in Diego Costa, Circuit King. I'd throw Most Beautiful in as well with those blinkers back on and Racing Mate.